Okay, hey YouTube. Listen, I'm kind of annoyed. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna try to sit down. I'm kind of annoyed for a couple of reasons. One, the water in my house is not working, and my car isn't starting, and it's really cold outside. And I'm just kind of pissed about that, and maybe that's why I'm in a bad mood, but I wanted to read some feedback notes that I got from a critique, a practice, defense, a defense, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to try to explain and answer some of these open-ended questions. I'm not mad at the people who asked them and left me this feedback. I'm mad that I wasn't smart enough to answer them. So I'm gonna read the feedback. The sources in his decisions, not so much the work as the articulation about his production, is not clear. Next comment. It will be important to think about the curation of subject matter, the cultural associations, parentheses, contexts that viewers will bring to the work, and how the work is necessarily part of the political conversation. What does the translator or retextualization communicate, parentheses. Frank did a great job, and the work continues to be beautiful and evocative and challenging. I think the conversation was hindered because of his framing of the work. Frank presented and framed the work as funny and kind of silly and a source of entertainment. Yes, all of those things are true, but it is also much more. There is a critique there. There are questions of access, consent, and privacy, subculture, taboo, and perversion of cultural mores. It seemed clear that everyone wanted him to address that complexity. Next comment. What is the criteria and how is it established? You seem to be setting up a dichotomy. On one side, we have the history of painting. You've inherited that of high painting as seen through the ideals of the Renaissance, classical, neoclassical, etc. On the other hand, we have your low painting, a section of internet-sourced images that exemplify low culture both in their content, distinction, and break it down using humor to disseminate it. How does your work operate within that dichotomy, outside of it, both, etc.? You cannot divorce the political. That comes with the territory. It's inextricable. I thought this, and it seems that others do too. Someone mentioned a safe part of the internet. There are valid readings, i.e. male toxicity, political content, specificity, that Frank needs to address. I think Frank needs to rethink on the statement and context. I wonder if the work is actually more about how, through repetition via the internet, that a picture normally horrifying or sad has become a meme and empathy has leaked out. Absurd humor and the compulsion to look at a car accident seem discontinuous. Overall, an exciting body of work is forming, but there is a disconnect between what is happening in the statement and the work you're presenting. You can reference Goya and Courbet as influences, but to say your work is in conversation with these historical painters comes off as not fully open. There is a dissemination, or there is a distinction between the comedy and absurdity and the realities of white toxic culture. This work is highly political. And then the last comment. The work is strangely and incongruently beautiful. I wonder what this means in relationship to the work. So, yeah. I'm frustrated because it seems like... Hold on. Let me start over. A lot of this was feedback in relation to my artist statement, not the paintings. I think everyone agreed that I'm a good painter, and I would agree in the most humble way that I can that I'm a good painter. I have a video of me reading my artist statement, the one that these comments apply to, and you can watch it. But I feel like everybody thinks that I'm the bad guy, and I'm not. I'm not a bad guy. I'm a nice guy, and they think that I'm like highlighting an evil crowd of white men who want to like take over the world or something. Or I know things are political, and I know paintings of people are political. That was arguably what they were used for in the first place, historically, not my paintings. And sorry. And I recognize that, but I'm just trying to have fun. I don't like politics. I paint because I don't like thinking about politics. I don't like thinking about how messed up everything is right now. And I think a lot of people assume that I'm like a, those same weird cis white guys, like the straight dudes on the internet that are socially inept. I'm not. And it makes me mad. Not mad. I don't like that people think that about me, and I don't like that people think that I have ill intent with the work that I'm making, or that I haven't thought about that. I have, and I purposefully have not wanted to talk about it because it makes me sad to think about the state of things right now, and the last thing I want to do is be compared to those people. So I know I can't divorce the political, but I don't want to talk about it either. And someone said that my reference to historical painters doesn't feel fully open. I don't think that's true either. I didn't want my whole artist statement to be about art history. It's my work. It's not history. It's not a history paper. So, yeah. And then... Yes, I know I shouldn't mention 4chan in my statement. And I don't anymore. I took that out after I got all of this feedback. When I said that, I wasn't talking about the politics of it, there's just funny pictures on there sometimes, okay? But I get it. I'm trying to figure out why I paint what I paint. I really am. It's just a weird compulsion. Everything for me is like an excuse to paint people, to paint the figure. I just really like painting the figure, guys. And the thought that anybody thinks that I have any ill intent behind that makes me sick. I just want to make people laugh. And I know I can't make everybody laugh, but I'm not trying to hurt people. In this conversation, you know, there's a lot of talk about toxic masculinity and like the culture around that and right-wing politics. I'm not right-wing. I'm not. And I would never want to be. I'm taking this all too personally, I know. None of this is a critique about me, it's a critique about my artist statement. But I'm young. I don't know everything. I can't explain why the internet exists, and I guess I'm not smart enough to even explain why I paint the things that I paint. Because saying that they're funny isn't enough, and I know that. But I'm just trying to provide a little portal into the spaces that I browse in my free time as an onlooker and nothing more. I'm not a bad person, and I'm not trying to give bad people a platform with my art. It's just a painting, for God's sake. You can't save the world with a painting, and I was never trying to do that in the first place. And with regards to consent and privacy and stuff, again, I'm only human. I pick these images on the criteria of what is visually appealing to me, you know, what I think would be a fun thing to paint, what I think is funny, what I think, you know, at least the in-group would find funny, and the out-group might just find, like, bizarre and awkward. That's it. Nothing more. Yeah, society is so messed up these days, and I just want to... I'm just trying to take a break from all of that, and all I want is for when people look at my paintings that they can take a break from it too. And even if they see this, like, fucked up right-wing political internet bullshit in it, they can see that I'm not it's contradictory, I know, because I'm painting them, but I'm heightening how silly they are. I'm not heightening how bad they are, and I'm not trying to give them power. I'm trying to strip them of their power. I don't want to make people upset. I want to make people laugh. And so even if they see politics and masculinity and all that nasty stuff in my paintings, that they can at least see that I'm telling a joke and that I'm not sympathizing with them. You know? And we live in the era of the internet, and it's so hard to not be around it when you grew up with it. You know? And I'm not trying to be diaristic with my work either, but at this point, I don't know what else to say. I grew up with the internet. This stuff has been normal for me since I got my first computer at the age of, like, 11. So, yeah, that's it. It's just funny. It's funny. I'm not trying to be exploitative, and I think that by painting them, that acts as a layer that, you know, I'm not just spreading a photo of something. It's not a photo, it's a fucking painting, man. That's it. I'm just painting pictures. That's all I'm doing. I'm just here to paint. And I hope that by painting them, it isn't a direct translation of their identity. I think when you see a painting, you can suspend disbelief and you can be like, oh, that looks like my Uncle Bill or my cousin Martha. Have you seen those like Facebook threads and those things on like Smosh.com of people standing with their painting doppelgangers? That's what happens when you paint a thing. There's a suspension of disbelief, and it suddenly stops being the person and becomes an icon of humans, not any specific person. And sure, it may connote some things for some people and some things for other people, but I think at its base level, they're just silly, they're just absurd, and I don't want to keep reading into it any deeper than that. This world is so sad, and everybody looks at things so fast. I want people to like just slow down and have a little laugh for a minute, you know? Or at least think about, if not have a laugh, look at it and think like, damn, society's really messed up right now, and this guy gets it, but he's being lighthearted about it, you know? So I hope that answers some of the confusion a little bit. I just wanted to get that off my chest because I've been thinking about it a lot, and I've been very upset today because I don't have any water. I don't have a car to go get water in bottles. I'm cold. That's why I'm not shirtless today. And yeah, I've just been thinking a lot because I've had a lot of free time. So yeah. Thanks for listening if you made it this far, and just remember to smash that like button and subscribe. And yeah, uploads might slow down a little bit, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, bye guys.